Hello there, my name is Ian, and I'm going to go over my Beretta M9A3 that I have well over 5,000 rounds on. So, I'm going to show you where the areas of wear are, any burrs that may have been created, and just any general wear patterns. I'm also going to show you some shooting footage to show you that the springs still work and it still is a reliable firearm, even though it's past the 5,000 round mark. So, to begin, gonna remove the magazine. That. So, starting with the slide, you can see there's wear on the inside of the rails, on both sides. On top, there's two high marks, and right there. And then here, where the slide slams against the frame itself, that's also worn away, and the hammer. However, none of these areas have shown any real wear. There is a very small burr forming right here that I'll show you with a high definition photo. And then there's wear from where the magazine's inserted. None of these areas will corrode, and the frame still is just as good as the day I bought it, despite there's now areas that aren't tan. For the slide, you can see that the underneath has some slight wear on it, so the Cerakote is gone in the areas of the most friction. Right here, it's very heavily turned into a brass color just from it touching brass all the time. In the rear, from the hammer hitting it, the Cerakote's gone from there. And then on the face of the bolt, or on the face of the slide itself, the Cerakote's gone, but there's no wear into the metal, and the extractor is still very good and doesn't need replacing. As for the barrel, the areas where it contacts the slide have worn. The locking block has some very slight wear on it, but nothing to be concerned about. There's no burrs or anything on this whole assembly. As you can see, the Cerakote where the rounds are fed and also where the slide locks up with the barrel itself are worn away. There's no more Cerakote there. And the barrel, after 5,000 rounds, still has all of its rifling, and I haven't really noticed a decrease of accuracy at all. As for the thread protector, it stays on. It hasn't moved at all. You just switch out the O-ring every couple thousand rounds because it will wear away from heat, or if you just unscrew and rescrew. But I still have my thread protector. It has never fallen off. And then the crown itself is still fine. The manufacturer recommends replacing the trigger return spring, hammer spring, and the recoil spring after 5,000 rounds. I haven't noticed any decrease in performance, but I will be ordering those parts just to have them in spare parts. The guide rod itself shows no wear, so I don't feel I need to replace it at all with a steel one. Reassemble this, put the barrel back in, guide rod back in spring, get in there, you. Alright. Well, to demonstrate that everything still works, I have some snap caps. So there's 5 of them. So this will show the extractor is still good and that it's still feeding. So it still locks open. It's still very strong on the return. Trigger's still good. And my decocker's still good. So, after 5,000 rounds, it still feels like a lightly used pistol. There's not a lot of wear. It still looks really good, and I'd still use it for years to come.